Hi, Amy Fashion Toppings here, and I wanted to show you a little project that we did. We turned a thrifted dresser into a storage seating bench, and I love how it turned out. I'm gonna insert a little clip here. This is just a walk around of the dresser and how it looks, and then the first stages of us taking the back off the dresser. And then after that, I accidentally took our Christmas pictures for our Christmas cards using the second half of the footage on a different SD card, so I don't have footage from then on. But thank goodness, I took pictures throughout the entire process. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with showing you this quick video of the walk around of the dresser, and then my husband taking the back off the dresser, and then I'll be back and I'm gonna show you some pictures of everything along the way and then the finished product. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that first clip.
Okay, as you can see, I mean, this dresser is in such great condition. I just fell in love with it when I saw it. My husband is working on taking the back off. These cupboards right here is why I chose this dresser. I mean, how often do you see a dresser that has open cabinet doors and then the drawers on the inside for putting knickknacks? This thing was just screaming, you know, make me into a bench. I swear, I fell in love with it. So the color is pretty bright. The paint job is bad. It looks good from a distance, but it is pretty bad. So we will be sanding it down. We have these drawers here with the little pulls. I'll be saving the pulls for another project. But these drawers right there, I think we'll be removing, but keeping the cabinets on the side. Now, what my husband's doing right now is he's taking off the back of the cabinet, and it's just a cheap kind of cardboard back. The rest of it, the construction is wonderful, but the back is actually, it's kind of like a damp cardboard. So he's removing that so that he can see the structure of how the dresser's made. And so as you can see, there's the drawers from the back. So removing all of the back was really important because it does need to be supported if we're going to make it into a bench so that people can actually sit on it and not fall through. So that's why he's taken the entire back off of the dresser. So now that we can see the structure and decide where it needs to have support and actually just how the whole thing was built. It was built pretty solid, so we were pretty happy with that.
Okay. And now after taking the back off, there's a lot of like little tiny staples. That was pretty difficult. We had to keep like taking these little, I don't know the name of tools, these little like wrenches or whatever, and pull. We had to go down with the needle nose pliers too. We had to go down and pull all the staples off the back of this dresser. So this is a lot of work, a lot more work than I thought it was gonna be. And then my husband had to take a circular saw and he cut out the top of the dresser where the area that's gonna need to be open for the bench. And you know, I'll be showing you pictures as I talk about it. The only thing is that when he sawed on each side, you'd think you'd just be able to pull that wood right up and it would come right out. No, it's glued to everything. So then we had to actually put a little crowbar, we had to put a little crowbar in there and try to hammer between the top countertop or the top of the dresser and all those little pieces of wood details that we wanted to stay or that we were going to cut out later, but we didn't want them damaged because they would damage other pieces of the dresser. So we took everything apart piece by piece, and so we actually had to use a crowbar and a hammer to pry the top up. It's a lot of work. And then after we got the top off, it started to look like what we wanted it to look like. So we were excited, so we kind of made our plan. The bottom two drawers that you see in this picture, we are still able to use the drawer on the left below the cabinet, but we cannot use the drawer on the right because after looking at the back of the dresser, we had to do a lot of reinforcing just to make sure that it would be able to handle the weight of anyone sitting on it. So we did have to, my husband put a lot of blocks underneath that area to support it, and he put a new piece of plywood down, so this thing is sturdy, and this thing weighs a ton now too. So he did put a lot of reinforcing underneath the bench area, so then after that, the drawer wouldn't go back in, so we just glued the face of the drawer on the front, so it is a fake drawer now on the right-hand side. But I'd rather be safe than sorry, so this thing is strong. Then the only purchased materials that we actually made for this project was the plywood. We did put a new sheet of plywood across the whole back so that, because the other one was that water-sogged fake fiberboard or whatever it was. So we've got a nice sturdy piece of plywood on the back. It hasn't put that on, and part of that plywood, we had enough left over to actually line the bench with to make it strong enough as well. So you put a new piece of plywood on the back, but if not, everything else in this project is actually recycled, stuff left over from our building project, so I'm excited. We use leftover, as you can see in this picture, it's got a wood top. We had to move it in the garage because of rain. But it does have a wood top on it now. That is leftover countertops from our kitchen. We had enough pieces left over that we just used the leftover scraps from our kitchen island and used it for the top of this dresser, and actually worked out really well. I did start sanding, since it was raining, we had everything put together. I started sanding, and my husband wanted me to leave it this way, the turquoise with the rustic bleeding through. He loved it, but it didn't match the farmhouse. I thought it was just too bold, like screaming bright color and rustic, and it doesn't match my farmhouse. So I did then turn around and we painted it, or I painted it. This is actually the color of my master bathroom. It's leftover paint. It's called rain washed. And so I painted the whole thing, front and back, everything the same color, and I love how it turned out. So I painted it with rain washed. It has the new scraps left. Oh, you can see me sweating. I'm having a hot flash again. God dang it. But it's got the new countertops on it. I absolutely love it. But after looking at it, you know, we put wood on the seat and everything. It's not very comfy having a wooden seat. So then I decided that, here's a before and after picture without, this is where we're at right now. The turquoise and then down to the rain washed. But then I found some fabric that I fell in love with that matches the paint perfectly. Look at this fabric, I love it. But it was on clearance. I have exactly enough if I want to make a cushion, just barely enough fabric. So I decided to buy the fabric for $4.99 a yard and make a cushion. I am gonna do a tutorial. I'm gonna go ahead and upload that as my next video, the tutorial to make this cushion, because the cushions are not cheap. I went to, oh my God, I am just, you can see water is running everywhere. This is hot flashes, ladies, let me tell you. But I bought the cushion for it at Joann Fabrics. They charge, it's for 3-inch thick cushion. They charge $69 a yard. Thank God I had a coupon for 40% off. But I did buy the cushions from Joann's, and I covered it with that clearance fabric. I love how it turned out. And I am gonna, like I said, I have a tutorial of how I made the cushion. It's gonna be coming up, it's my next video. But I love how it turned out. So then I put a layer of my marine varnish polyurethane over the top of the wood to give it that little bit of shine, to kind of polish off the project. But I love how it turned out. And I'm sorry I didn't do a full tutorial on this because one, the power tools were loud. Two, my husband did all the construction part of it, and part of it he did when I was not there. The lining of the bench with the wood, so I didn't have any pictures of that because he wanted to surprise me. I was trying to document it, and he surprised me and had it done when I got back, when I had to run an errand. But I love how it turned out. Just took the simple, this $79 Goodwill dresser. It had good bones to it. It had everything I was looking for as far as, you know, just originality, because usually dressers, all the drawers are all going in one direction, but this one had that one set of the cabinets with the inside drawers, you know, as part of it, which is just so unique. I had to have it. So I love how it turned out. This is probably one of my favorite transformation pieces that we've ever done, but I wanted to show with you the before and after pictures. And then as soon as we have people that are renting our guest house right now, just over the holidays, they needed a place to stay. And so we're letting them stay there, so we can't move this piece down there until they're done staying there. And they're staying there for 2 weeks. So when I get it down there, I will, in one of my future vlogs, I will show you pictures of it actually in the little guest house, farmhouse for additional seating. But if you're looking for additional seating, but you need storage and you're kind of limited on space, go to your local Goodwill and look at end tables with the drawers in it, or dressers, you know, and make a bench out of it. And then you have your storage as well. I mean, you could put clothes in this thing. It could be used in a child's room, you know, in a nursery as additional seating. You know, there's so many options, but I love how it turned out. I wanted to share it with you. Well, this is Amy with Fashion Toppings. Until next time, you have a great day. Bye-bye.